What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Here we are on this, the second day of August, sitting here at about 113.7K. We did drop down yesterday, the 1st of August, right down to the intended area of about 113K and just below there. It's very possible that we do go lower, but I don't think we do. I think that this was enough of a downside for this month, right? And we have been talking about for the past week that the beginning of August likely did see some kind of dump, some kind of move down. Is it over? Maybe. Could it go lower? Maybe. You know, we'll go over that in a second. It's very possible that if we do go lower, that we would go just a little bit lower. I don't think we go too dramatically lower than that, but we'll go over that in a second. Really, what I want to talk about is how on a monthly time frame here, you can see that all of these green candles, basically virtually literally every single one of them, I mean, except for this one, right? Except for that one. They all have wicks to the downside. And that one there. Okay, so a couple of them. Since 2023, January, 2 green candles don't have wicks to the downside. Every other one, even a little bit of a wick, they all have some kind of wick. So moving down at first, essentially, it's not a requirement. It doesn't need to happen this way, okay? But from a statistical point of view, from a superstitious point of view on my behalf, it does help me to be more immediately bullish in the early parts of August if first we see a dump. So this is exactly what we were looking for, right? And dump we did. And I very much do believe that that's the low. Let's get into that now. Let's talk about why I think that's the low. I'd like to start on the 1 hour time frame. We'll go from there, okay? Maybe even the 15-minute, because the 15-minute, sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. You know, you're probably best, especially if you're a new trader, to just stay away from the 15-minute time frame. It's too much noise a lot of the time. If there's most reliable time frames would be longer term time frames. Least reliable would be shorter term, because the shorter term can get overrun by the longer term stuff, right? You might see bearish divergence on the 15-minute, but if there's bullish momentum building on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, who cares about the bearish divergence? Or maybe it's insignificant in comparison to the bullish momentum. You know, sure, it might go down for 30 minutes, but I digress. Let's get into this. Okay, 15-minute time frame here, talking about bullish divergence. We've got higher lows here, lower lows there, moving on up. You do have higher highs in the RSI with lower highs in the price. That is hidden bearish divergence, but that hidden divergences aren't oftentimes the most powerful. That could just suggest that you go a little bit lower and then you move up, but I would expect that we continue to move up. The MACD looks good, stochastics look good, but again, 15-minute time frame, it's a little bit less reliable. So far, so good. 1 hour time frame definitely has some severe divergence. Look at how much we've diverged here since 115.4K all the way down, just diverging up. You have a massive, you have a massive downtrend on the 1 hour time frame, right? Lower lows. These are very, very productive trends whenever they're this kind of wide. Whenever they're narrow like this, less productive. We want a trend like this, but to the upside. That's what we want. You know, something like this that builds. That was from July 27th on the 1 hour time frame, July 27th to August 2nd. That's a long time, right? That's a very long time. If we were on the daily time frame, that'd be like weeks, if not even like a month's worth of price action. But bullish, definitely bullish. If there was a time for this trend to end, typically what I like to say is that downtrends end in the oversold zone with bullish divergence. That's what we have, right? And I would expect that we do break this downtrend. Now, does that mean that we can't go lower? No, that doesn't mean that. We absolutely can go lower. We're going to get into why I don't think we go lower, why I do think that's the low, or at least we're very near it. But looking at the stochastics, you also have bullish divergence. The MACD does not have bullish divergence, but you do have a bit of a double bottom here on the oscillators, which is nice to see. And are you crossing? I think you've actually just crossed green. Yeah, just, oh, so freshly crossed green. Yes, right there. We got to zoom way the hell in, but you can see it, right? Little green ticks. So good things on the 1 hour time frame are starting here, right? It's starting here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Anybody who happened to go long down in these areas or even here, we're probably going to rip up above 116K. I'm guessing we're going to rip above, and probably even beyond that, right? Inevitably, new all-time highs are coming. Absolutely. That I think is the low of this range, but we'll get into that. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, 4 hour RSI getting in the oversold zone as well. Not as dramatic of a downtrend in the one like we had in the 1 hour. It was more of a kind of sideways trend for a very long time. We finally picked a direction. We were ping-ponging between the 60 and the 40 for most of this trend, and we finally picked a direction and got oversold. If we're looking at this on the 4 hour time frame there, you know, we typically do like to find support right in this area, actually, so that's fine on the RSI. Let's actually go back and look at what happened the last couple times that we were this close to this area in the oversold zone. Let's see. Vertical line, lock it so we have it. We'll just do each of these. Anytime that you've been like down here or lower, something like this. We even grinded sideways. This one in particular is the one that I want to look at, because you see how we grinded sideways for 2 4-hour candles here, right? I don't know if you can see that. I know what I'm saying. The one candle there, one candle there. We kind of grinded sideways. We did the same thing here. I'll even put a marker right there. Oh, I've got the magnet on, so it's still doing that. Okay, and then here you kind of grinded sideways as well. So, anyways, let's get these a little bit more refined, and we'll look at the price. Okay, see what that's done. So, going back here, that was a bounce. That was a bounce right there in June, and we moved up. Let's see. I mean, from there, it looks like we moved up over the next couple of days. June 6th or June 5th, the end of the day, to June 9th. So really, I mean, that was like 3 days worth of time frame because it was the end of the day on the 5th, so it was really like the 6th to the end of the day on the 9th. Okay, so it's like 4 days. 10% up, 10% in 4 days. 10% in 4 days. On 100, we got a $113,000 asset, you guys. 10% in 4 days. We're back above 120K. Absolutely we are. In 4 days. Oh, man. And it's just the beginning of the week in 4 days. It's just the beginning of the month. We're reversing, turning the month green. Oh, man. What about here? Did we go lower? No, we did not. We actually found support directly right there, and then we moved up about 6%. And probably about the same amount of time, 4 days, right? If we overlay this, it's quite literally about four days. A little bit less than 4 days that time, but 6%. This time, a little bit bigger of a move. You did go lower. You did go lower. Something important to note. And what you did here was you grinded sideways, right? This is that time that you grinded sideways. From your low, let's just see actually from where you closed to the low, you went down about 0.7%, $700 lower. Okay, nothing crazy. From a low to a high here, we're at a higher number now, so it might be more than $700 just to keep in mind. But that was another 10% move in what was effectively less. It was probably about 3 days time that we moved up. 10% in 3 days, 10% in 4 days, 6% in 3 days, 10% in 3 days. Nice. Then this last attempt here, while we were in this downward sloping consolidation phase, which if we're looking at this here from this high coming down to these highs, you know, we were coming down from this low coming down to these lows, downward sloping parallel channel. We did just like that last 4-hour time frame. We had a little bit of a lower low, nothing too significant, right? From that low to that low, down 0.5%, $600. Overall, we pumped up about 4.4% from July 25th to July 27th, so over 2 days, essentially, like 2.5 days, 4.4%. If we were to do this, right, so let's just see, and I have a theory, what we're not going to do is we're not going to move up 4.4%. I think that we're going to move something more akin to 10% or 6% or more over the next 3 to 5 days, I guess, by the way that we've done this, right? 3 to 4 days even, actually. I don't think any of these were 5 days. So the next 3 to 4 days should be rather exciting and probably even beyond that. But from a low here, look at this, right? Just like this time back here where we grinded the 4-hour RSI a little bit, we did see a little slightly lower low, drop down about 0.4%, nothing crazy. We've yet to move up. I very much believe that we'll see something that's larger than this. I'm thinking we will get that 10% move, and a 10% move from here, that should take us up to 124K. 124K, we get up there, we're at new all-time highs, guys. We're at new all-time highs by the end of next week. We're at new all-time highs 4 days from now. It's the second, so what? This all of the second, 2, 3, 4, 5. Math and time is weird because it's the second plus 4. Really, it's actually like it wouldn't be 2 plus 4, it'd be 2 plus 3. So it's like the 5th of August that would be up here. Maybe the 6th, maybe it's the 6th, whatever. And I would expect that we continue to grow afterwards as well, right? We could do something like this where we consolidate a little bit, we get a higher low, and then we continue to rally, right? It doesn't have to be like immediate, just continuation, but inevitable continuation more so. If we're looking at this, just running with this idea of a 10% pump over the next 3 to 4 days, okay? We look at the liquidations on the last 30 days. The longs have been decimated. The shorts have been accumulating. And if we go all the way up to where this massive peak here is, really, maybe even to where it really starts to die off in shorts, where the majority of the volume is, up to about $16 billion in shorts will be liquidated at 123.7K. That's about 124K. And likely as you move higher, those shorts get pushed back. Remember, the longs here over the 30-day period were right around 113K, but we went down to 112.7K. Now we've got a big, spike in volume at 112.3K. They get pushed back most of the time, right? Because people will add back to their longs or open up new positions. Some exchanges will push those, they'll liquidate part of your position so that you can push it back a little bit. It just depends. But all I'm trying to say here is that is very close. This massive wall comes to an end essentially right there at 124K, which from a historical reference, might be exactly where we go to, which is pretty cool. Something else that's pretty cool is that we've broken out of this trend from here to there. We've broken out of our little diagonal line, and just like here, and if you guys probably already know what I'm about to say, but just like here, how we broke out of this trend line, and that was a perfect area to sell. I'm going to assume that this is actually the perfect area to buy. I think it really is. We're getting set up right now, and this I think is glorious. This is what really convinces me that we found the low. Once we get back above it, technically, you know, it's a little bit too early to celebrate. From the low to where we are now, we're up what? Not even 1% probably. Yeah, like 0.8%. It's too early to celebrate, but I do think that that was the low. And this in combination with something else that's pretty damn big, which is from a low here to a high there. We are right at the 382, bouncing off the 382. That's just a perfect setup, man. I really did. I actually thought, you know, I was looking for a setup, and I was thinking that we'd go down to about 112.4K, maybe down to 112K itself, just below there. I was thinking that we could do that. But there's a couple of thoughts in my head that didn't help make sense out of that, right? For one, if we go just below 112K, well, we're interacting with this high, and I don't think Bitcoin's going to be kind enough for that. I think that this is what we're going to get, right? Just like here, just like back here with this low, how we found support just above that high there, right? We found support just above that high. We didn't go to it. We found support just above that high, just like this low back here, where we found support here. Let me put this right there. Put it right at this high, our prior all-time high there at 74K. We found support just above it, right? Do you notice Bitcoin? It doesn't really like to go back. It wouldn't make sense that we go to this area or through this area. And I see a lot of people on x.com and YouTube calling for that. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying, to me, from what Bitcoin's done in recent history and throughout this cycle, it seems more probable that we'd find support right where we are, if not a little bit lower. With the added notion that we wicked below the 382, found support directly there as well. Typically, you do look to find support at the 382 in strong moves, which I would call that a strong move. So 382, boom. You know, looking back retrospectively, it's so obvious that this is the area that we should have accounted for all along. But in all fairness, Bitcoin did have a rather robust, or a rather, let's say, productive relationship with its 236 throughout this whole last move. You know, if we're looking at it here, something to keep in mind was this last move here, low to high. We found support at that 236. Low to high here, we found support. What was it? Wasn't it that low to high? Maybe it was the next low to high. This low to high. You found support right there at your 236, just below it nonetheless. And then you take that next low to high. Low to high here. No, maybe not. Maybe it was this one. Oh, it was this one here, 236. We found support at this 236 as well. That's what it was. So, you know, we didn't go to the 382. This time we are at the 382. Even more reason to be bullish. I very much do believe that that was the low. It's very common to wick just below the 382 as we did, and then close above it. As long as we're closing above the 382, I'm fine, right? We could wick lower, and of course I don't expect that we'd go below 112K, but if it happens, that's cool. You know, over the last 30 days we do have some longs that are ready to get liquidated down there at about $112,000 and just below. That's kind of where that last little wall of resistance is there, but man, there's so many shorts to be liquidated in the other direction. It's crazy. But in all fairness, that's about $2.5 billion at 112K and just below 112K. We're pretty damn near that right now. So just keep that in mind. We absolutely could. And if we do go down to 112 to 112 or just below 112K, that shouldn't scare anybody. That should just get you excited to buy, because then for sure we're probably not going to go lower than that. And then more shorts pile on, all the good things. Inevitably, I think what's going to happen is we do move up. We'll probably move up here to about 120K, 124K, I should say 123 to 124K, something like that. Maybe we consolidate, and then we get running, right? This consolidation phase lasted a lot longer than anticipated. Typically, again, what you see is not that you find support at these trend lines. You oftentimes don't actually find support at these diagonal lines. You'll find support once you've broken them. The best time to buy is just below, most of the time. Not always, but typically that's actually the case. That's how it is. I wonder if we have another example of this. Like right here. I don't know. We could draw it right there. We could draw it right there too. I wonder, actually, is this one? You actually didn't go to that line. You actually went just above it. The best time would have been just above it in that case. What about this trend line here? The best time to buy would have been just below this trend line. right? Just below it, right at it essentially, but just below it there. Same thing with this trend line here, from a low to that low there. Come on now. Best time to buy was just below it. Best time to buy was just below it, right? Even back tested it for support there. I'm just saying, it makes a lot of sense to me that this is the area that we would find support and that we would move up higher. Looking at the 4-hour stochastics, bearish. MACD is bearish. RSI is bearish, but we're at a point where we could turn around. And again, we have bounced from this area in the RSI plenty of times. All we need is one of these candles to close green. We got 2 hours, 31 minutes left. Let's see if we can close this green. We've also got a nice setup here with this very dense candle coming down, full body candle, a spinning top in the middle, and then a full body up. We've seen these before, and typically what happens is we do get a positive reaction. Or if it was the other way around, if this was inverted, right, you had the spinning top at the top. Let me see if I can just find an example of what I'm talking about here so that I can show you. I'm looking. Kind of like this. You had a pretty big body up, right, and then spinning top, and then you came down. Kind of like that, right? Kind of like that. Or like this, even spinning top, right? Moved up, spinning top, and then you came down. You see what I'm talking about? This is just, in my opinion, it's even better formed. I don't know. It would make me think that we do continue to grow throughout this 4-hour time frame, but that just because I think that doesn't mean that it has to. Let's see if I can find another example. Here, solid body down, spinning top, and we did grow from there. We did actually not, we didn't go lower. This is not the kind of reaction that I would normally look for, but hey, it worked, you know, nonetheless. Kind of like that, but not, it's not technically the same. It's a similar idea, but not the same. Similar idea, but not the same. I can't find any other examples. I'm sure there's plenty of them, and I've probably even skipped over them because I'm just trying to go through this a little bit fast. But anyways, I like the setup now. It would be, I think, beneficial if this 4-hour time frame closed green. If not, if we were to close red, then I would say at this point in time, the statistical probability that we do go lower than that low at 112.7K would go up. So if this candle closes red, the odds that we go lower than this low here would actually go up. That doesn't mean that in the next 2 hours, 30 minutes, if we were to see red, that means that we're going below this low. We could come down, close red, or not close red, but come down, be slightly red for a moment, and then come back up and still close green. It really does depend on the candle close itself. I hope I'm making sense there. If not, you know, it's okay. Stochastics look like they want to cross up. As long as we get this green candle, RSI could come out of the oversold zone. We can start being productive with the MACD. Until then, everything does look pretty bearish, but we've got a lot of good things going for us. Daily time frame, the MACD, I mean, it wouldn't be bad for this to come lower. We could come down and skim the zero. The last time we did that, we literally had enough oomph to take us to new all-time highs, but I just don't think that we're going to do that. I personally don't think that we're going to go below 112K. To do something like that, we would have to go below 112K, or at least chill in this area for a little while. Stochastics look ready to cross up. RSI is at an area where we have found support a few times, once, twice, 3 times, even 4 times in this area. You found resistance right there. Found support in this area here. I mean, it's a pretty common area for you to find support. Overall, very bullish daily RSI. Stochastics like to range between the oversold and overbought zone. When you get overbought, you're staying overbought. When you're oversold, you're bouncing. You're just like rejecting that oversold area. So I like our odds that we'll continue to move up from here. I'm pretty damn confident in that. And what really gives me confidence, again, is the fact that we've found support potentially, that we've gone just below this trend line here. Now I think we can move up, right? All the people who think they know what they're doing, they're giving up hope. This is it. That means we're going down, you guys. No, that's not what that means, right? Not normally. And then also the 382. This is a very, very strong. This look is actually what made me bullish. Whenever I saw this, that's whenever I posted on x.com at the low, essentially, which we're basically at the low now, that I think this is the low. But I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, it won't be dramatic. It shouldn't be dramatic, at least. Don't panic sell or anything like that. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say, you guys. The week's down. We got 1 day, 23 hours left in this week. I'm not worried about the way that it looks so far. I mean, we had a pretty bearish week here, and then the next week we just ripped right to the upside. By the way that we've done this technical analysis today, you know, this is the first time that I've done it actually today this way. Looking at that 4-hour analysis, I'm very convinced that we will see over the next 3 to 4 days, we will see a 10% pump overall from that low. So 3 to 4 days from now, right, from that low, 1 day here, 2, 3 days to be the 4th to the 5th of August, we should be seeing that. So I got nothing else for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves, And again, if we do drop down to about 112K or just below there, just understand that everything's fine. That's the last kind of area that I would expect us to, not the last area as far as like statistics go, but the last possible area that I would expect us to go as far as support could be, right? I don't know how to phrase that properly. It's not like it's the last area, like that's the last place I think we'd be. It's just, it's that last kind of stop that could be hit. I don't know how else to phrase that. So I'm going to end it there. All right, take care. Bye-bye.